We're on Stefanski getting fired watch, and that watch is getting hotter by the minute. And we're also on Shedeur Sanders watch, and we had a game today. We had a game against the Jets that on paper going in should have been a dub, and it wasn't. The Hawaiian Leprechaun threw some balls into the dirt. Stefanski can't get his boys corralled, and he also delivered us a message.
What just went down in Cleveland, Kevin Stefanski basically looked Jimmy Haslam in the eye and said, "Not happening," and kept Shedeur Sanders on the bench against the Jets. The locker room's buzzing, fans are melting down, and the whole thing feels like the Browns accidentally walked into their own primetime soap opera. Was this a bold stand from a coach protecting his system, or a career-ending gamble in real time? Either way, the Browns just cranked their quarterback drama to a whole new level.
Take it off this game, red zone. You're killing me. My God. 17 of 32, 167, 2 touchdowns. For Dillon Gabriel, you got defeated by a 6 for 11. 54 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Justin Fields, how in the hell does that possibly even happen? I mean, I don't know who you bench first. Dillon Gabriel or Kevin Stefanski? I got to tell you, it's weird because both these teams are straight.
Something strange just unfolded in Cleveland. One of those moments that makes you stop, mid-scroll, and wonder, hold on, did that actually happen? Kevin Stefanski, the coach, practically engineered in a lab to mumble "we'll evaluate the tape," just looked Jimmy Haslam in the face and flat out said, no.
If you're Stefanski, you are very upset at that development because Shedeur is essentially, he could be his get-out-of-jail-free card when it's all said and done.
Oh, I don't even think Kevin thinks like that. I think Kevin would rather get fired than play Shedeur at this point. That's the way it feels. I'm not saying that's definitively what it is, but I'm not doing charity work here. I'm not doing charity work for Shedeur Sanders, and by the way, he doesn't need it, and I'm sure as hell not doing it for the Jets. Make me a real offer. And so for Shedeur, you know, okay, a third and a future fourth, or 2/3, all right.
He flat out refused to put Shedeur Sanders on the field against the Jets, and then, as if determined to prove he's secretly campaigning for a slot on ESPN Classic, Stefanski rolled Dillon Gabriel back out there because, in Cleveland, apparently looping rough quarterback play has somehow become part of the weekend tradition.
I think this is actually a fireable loss for Kevin Stefanski. I do. The way it played out, I'm just like, you know what? At this point, fire Stefanski, put Jim Schwartz, a guy that's been a coach, as the interim. We know he can coach up defense, generally speaking, and start Shedeur Sanders. That's where I'm at. I feel like all roads, unfortunately for Browns fans, is heading towards...
At this point, it barely resembles football. It looks more like performance art. Every drive feels like a live-action metaphor for frustration. The crowd's booing, the defense is side-eyeing, and Stefanski is standing there with that same calm face that insists everything is fine while the offense moves.
God, you either mess with G. Bush now or you mess with me later. The referendum this whole season, y'all been running around talking about who ready and who not ready. Is he ready? Can he play? Is he ready? Kevin Stefanski ain't been ready. Your offensive staff, your special teams ain't been ready. And you weren't ready again after 2 weeks against the worst team I've ever seen. The Jets are trash. They are super trash.
You realize the Browns lost the game to a...
It all kicked off the moment Shedeur Sanders made his return to practice. The guy came out looking electric, ripping throws, dancing around, firing missiles like he hadn't missed a beat. The whole field lit up, cameras snapping, teammates laughing, energy buzzing. For a brief moment, even the grass felt greener. Cleveland finally looked alive again. And then there's Stefanski, doing his best impression of a man pretending he didn't just see the quarterback the fan base has spent months begging for. Acting like Shedeur just drifted into existence and he's still unsure what everyone's so worked up about. It's like watching someone scroll right past a winning lottery ticket. A city that's survived decades of next-year heartbreak finally hit its breaking point. And really, can you blame them?
Want Shedeur, if he is the miracle salve to save the Jets, You come with a 5th-round offer, you're going to get laughed out of the NFL.
Well, that's what Evan needs to hear. Evan Roberts, the guy in the clip, that's what he needs to hear. A 5th-round pick isn't going to be anywhere close to getting it done. It just makes no sense for the Browns. Why would the Browns do that? We're not everyone's minor league farm system.
We're not the Montreal Expos.
That's not what we're doing. We're not your feeder system where you can just pick apart the pieces you like and then we'll make you just a little bit better. It's frustrating. The 5th-round pick in return was the frustrating part for myself. Now, why is it you think that Stefanski would rather be fired than play Shedeur?
Because of the entire way.
Dillon Gabriel's stat line looked like someone mashed random keys on a keyboard. Passes sailing, timing gone, pocket awareness evaporating. Meanwhile, Shedeur is standing there on the sideline, looking every bit like the answer nobody wants to acknowledge. The irony writes itself. Cleveland has spent years pleading for a quarterback who brings rhythm, juice, confidence. They finally land one, and the head coach treats him like he's some ghost hovering in the corner of the locker room. You truly can't make it up. The guy hired to fix this offense is the same guy refusing to use the one player capable of transforming it. At this point, it's less football strategy and more a slow-motion breakup, and the fans are completely over it. They redone hearing the trust a process routine, the same process that's been stuck in beta testing since 1999. Every Sunday follows the same miserable script, a couple of promising defensive stops, a flicker of optimism, and then a Dillon Gabriel overthrow so off-target it might honestly qualify for its own postal code. The boos get louder every week, echoing through the stadium, but Stefanski's poker face never cracks. Some people think he's doing this on purpose, that maybe, deep down, he's daring Haslam to fire him. Because really, how else do you explain willingly trotting Gabriel out there against the Jets again, while Shedeur Sanders is right there warming up, firing perfect spirals, bouncing around with that natural confidence? Stefanski's acting like it's bad luck to acknowledge the kid.
My fist on the table for Shedeur outright, because I don't know that the Ravens game's the one I really want to see him, but like I'm gonna feel like I know what Dillon Gabriel is. Like, if you can't look good this week, you can't look good, period.
Yeah, I feel like I can't even answer this question because I'm already out on Dillon Gabriel. I feel like Shedeur Sanders should be starting today. I feel like this is a massive missed opportunity to not start Shedeur Sanders, matter of fact, because you had the extended bye week. You had time to prep Shedeur Sanders to play in this game.
If denial were a coaching philosophy, the Browns would be undefeated by now. And you can feel the tension building. Haslam wants Shedeur on the field. The fan base wants Shedeur on the field. Half the locker room probably wants Shedeur on the field. But Stefanski, he's digging in like a man determined to prove some grand thesis about patience and development. We'll stick with Gabriel, he repeats, as if saying it enough times might somehow make it true. And Gabriel, bless his heart, isn't helping himself. Every drive feels like a TikTok challenge called Guess Where the Ball's Going. The Jets' secondary was catching more accurate throws than Cleveland's receivers, and even the announcers sounded like they were trying to negotiate a truce with reality. No reasonable person watches what Gabriel put on tape and says, "Yep, that's our quarterback." It's like watching a chef burn toast 3 straight times and then blame the bread. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is the spark this city has been begging for, the one player who actually brings rhythm and juice back into the building. But instead of riding that surge, Stefanski is acting like confidence is a liability. He's coaching this offense like he's allergic to fun. There's even a rumor floating around that Stefanski won't say Shedeur's name in meetings. Anymore that, he only refers to him as the rookie or the backup. It's almost comedic. If Voldemort ever coached football, this is exactly how he'd handle it. Maybe Stefanski thinks that if he pretends Shedeur doesn't exist, the media will eventually lose interest. Spoiler, they won't.
Guys, losing this game and kind of now being behind the 8 ball. I mean, do you stick with Dillon Gabriel after this game, or do you think about making a change?
Yeah, we're going to stick with Dillon. Obviously, this is a young players that you're always trying to get one game better and those type of things, but we have to play better as an offense. We have to coach better, all the above.
Missing easy throws. Like I told y'all, he's missing easy throws. Oh my fuck goodness. You giving him what he wants and he's missing the easy throws. He's not an NFL star.
Cleveland media thrives on chaos, and this storyline is their personal Super Bowl. And then you've got the conspiracy crowd, whispering about what's really going on. Some folks swear Stefanski's spooked that letting Shedeur succeed means opening the door for the entire Sanders empire to plant roots in Cleveland. Others say it's pure ego, that he can't stomach the idea of a 5th-round pick walking in and saving his job. Whatever the theory, the optics are rough. The players feel it too. You can see it in their body language, that uncomfortable blend of frustration and disbelief. When veterans are side-eyeing the sideline mid-drive, that's not exactly a vote of confidence. We'll stay the course. We believe in the process.
That we see in the offense is not Dillon Gabriel. Let's be clear. Half of the stuff that you see is the architect's problem. That's Kevin Stefanski. Why you think I'm not killing Tommy Rees? The architect, the person who drew this stuff up, who we can't just create a new offense in the middle of the season, that's another reason he should be fired. And the fact that you handed this off and you the one constructed it is another fireable offense because you did it 2 years in a row. So yeah, is Shedeur gonna have to try to make some plays? Sure. But at the end of the day, somebody gonna...
That's just coach speak for, I have no idea what's happening, please stop asking. And the worst part? This had all the makings of a redemption arc. A layup. Shedeur comes back, steps in against a wobbly Jets defense, lights up the field, and gives the season a heartbeat again. The script practically wrote itself. But instead, we got Dillon Gabriel versus the inevitable, and the only real suspense was whether Cleveland could manage a punt before halftime. By the 4th quarter, the boos didn't even have energy anymore. The crowd had moved on to resignation. They were laughing, and that's when you know it's officially off the rails. When the pain turns into stand-up comedy, you can practically hear the collective sigh roll across Lake Erie. Everyone knows the next chapter before it drops the headlines. The speculation, the same exhausting loop Cleveland's been stuck in for decades, and the wild part, Shedeur Sanders doesn't even have to do anything to dominate the conversation. Just standing there shifts the entire mood.
Was dealing with the back tightness and he missed a practice earlier in the week, and ultimately he still will be the backup quarterback today. But everything about this lined up perfectly, from the changing of the play caller with the bye week to it's the Jets that just traded away Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. Like it was the perfect opportunity to play Shedeur, and they ignored it. And I guess get why they did, because they feel like they've got 9 more of these just to hit across.
Cleveland finally has a quarterback with charisma, accuracy, and real poison. Somehow, the organization is pretending he's invisible. You couldn't script a worse setup if you tried. Even the NFL meme factories probably needed a timeout. And somewhere up in that owner's suite, Jimmy Haslam has to be wondering how much more of this circus he can stomach. The man says, play the kid, and Stefanski treats it like someone leaving a 3-star Yelp suggestion. That's not bold leadership. That's career suicide unfolding in real time. They're stubborn. And then there's whatever this is. The kind of stubborn where you start building your own downfall, one decision at a time. And yet, Stefanski looks fully committed to the bit. It's like he's determined to prove that if he's going down, he's dragging logic with him. You can practically picture the internal monologue. If I ignore Shedeur long enough, maybe he'll vanish. Maybe the fans will move on. Spoiler, Browns fans don't forget anything. They keep receipts like it's a generational hobby.
Now that I'm done crashing, let's actually watch some of these throws, y'all. I gotta talk about some of these throws with y'all, man. This shit was disgusting, y'all. These throws was disgusting. Bro, I'm sorry I'm giving y'all this angle, because this angle don't even do it justice, y'all. He made this 20-yard throw look like it was a 60-yarder, y'all. Meaning he put so much into this throw, y'all. And Jerry Jeudy had to come back for it. Man, I wish I had a different angle, y'all. Bruh, this throw was crazy to me, y'all. I don't know how he got it off. I don't.
What's wild is how fast this shifted from a simple quarterback debate into a full-blown soap opera. Every Stefanski press conference now sounds like a breakup talk, and every practice clip feels like the kind of foreshadowing you'd see in a Netflix drama. The offense looks lost, the locker room's restless, and the only guy who looks calm is the quarterback who isn't playing. And if anyone thinks this tension stops here, absolutely not. The more Gabriel sputters, the louder those play Shedeur chants will cut through the stadium like a rally cry. Every misfire adds another crack in Stefanski's armor, and the more he digs in, the worse the optics get. At this point, it's barely about talent anymore. It's about pride, and pride is one battle a coach never wins against an entire city. Stefanski's out here trying to prove a point nobody asked for. It's like watching a man proudly argue that VHS tapes are superior to streaming. Admirable dedication, sure, but completely detached from reality. And there's something almost poetic about it. Cleveland has always lived in the world of almost wins, almost stars, almost turnarounds. Maybe that's why Shedeur feels so out of place. He's not built for almost, he's built for moments.
Hold on. Oh my God, let's watch that again. Watch this. Dillon Gabriel, an NFL quarterback, just did. What are we talking about? I swear to you, if Shedeur Sanders doesn't come out in the second half of this football game, yeah, my guy right there, it's time. That was the crazy, that dude's an NFL quarterback. I might just jump ship. I might go all in on Bills Mafia. If Shedeur doesn't play today, it's Bills Mafia. I'm going to jump through a table and just...
By the end of that miserable Jets game, you could feel it in the stadium. The shift, the frustration, that quiet sense that something big is about to crack. The fans know it, the players feel it, and deep down Kevin Stefanski knows the clock is ticking. You can only ignore a spark for so long before it turns into a fire. Shedeur's time is coming. Whether the coach likes it or not, you can sense it in every sideline camera shot, every whispered locker room rumor, every fan tweet begging for change. The Browns can keep pretending he isn't the future not, when the present looks this bleak. And maybe that's the funniest part of all. Cleveland chaos always finds a way to write its own punchline. The franchise that spent 20 years begging the universe for a real quarterback finally has one, and the head coach refuses to put him on the field. It's tragic, it's absurd, and it's peak Browns. But here's the truth. The longer Stefanski digs in, the uglier this gets. Because eventually, even he won't be able to dodge what everyone else already sees. Shedeur Sanders isn't the backup. He's the pulse this team's been starving for. He's the rhythm Cleveland forgot it was allowed to feel. And when that moment finally comes, it'll be more than a depth chart change at LLB, a statement that this city is done settling for average, that the future doesn't wait for permission. Until then, we're trapped in the strangest chapter of Browns history. A coach trying to outstubborn his own trajectory, an owner running out of patience, and a quarterback sitting on the sideline like a superhero stuck in pre-game limbo.
Lose this game. Will it all come crumbling down? Will this be the last straw that breaks the camel's back and have some of the veterans quit on Cleveland if they can't beat the lowly Jets?
I think you ask that every week.
Yeah, that's
you know what?
Part of the, yeah.
We're going to keep asking if they keep losing. And the coach does not have any long-term security. But let's start with the quarterback, guys. Coming off a bye week, 2 full weeks to prepare. In theory, this should be the best version of Dillon Gabriel we've seen yet. But G. Bush, do you believe it will be? Or am I talking myself into results that probably will not?
Cleveland football has always had a flair for drama, but this is Shakespeare in shoulder pads. Stefanski can pretend he doesn't see what's happening, but everyone else already does. The fans, the media, the locker room, they've seen the future, and it's wearing number 12, and it's wearing number 14, just waiting for its moment. The only real question now is how many losses it'll take before Stefanski finally accepts that the very thing he's been avoiding might be the only thing capable of saving him. Because right now, this doesn't look like strategy. It looks like a man working overtime to get himself fired. And if he keeps pushing this way, mission accomplished. The fans will lose their minds, the cameras will descend, and Stefanski might suddenly remember what a genuine smile feels like. Because the second Shedeur steps onto that field, everything changes. It's over. The energy shifts instantly. The crowd will erupt like they've been holding their breath for years, and the offense will finally look alive again. The same fans who were booing a week ago will be hugging complete strangers in the aisles. Cleveland will feel something dangerous and beautiful hope, the emotion they swore they'd locked away for good. And when that moment hits, the entire NFL better brace itself. Because once Shedeur is unleashed, Browns' chaos stops being misery and finally becomes entertainment. The suffering flips into electricity, and Cleveland gets the spark it's been starving for.